you are.
I am the IT Shadow! Do you understand?
Imagine living your entire life in the shadow of a lie, protecting a secret so deeply ingrained that it defines your very existence. In Silo Season 2, Episode 9, we finally unravel the harrowing truth behind Solo's mysterious past, a story of survival, trauma, and an unbreakable promise to his father. Who is Solo, really? And why did he dedicate decades of his life to guarding the vault, even at the cost of his humanity? Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Join us as we dive deep into the heartbreaking revelations that redefine Solo's identity and his connection to Silo 17's haunting history.
Coward. Jimmy hid behind a door.
Open the damn door, Jimmy!
Tragic backstory of Solo. In Silo Season 2, Episode 9, the enigmatic and shadowy figure of Solo finally steps into the light, revealing the truth about his past and his real identity. Solo, portrayed by Steve Zahn, has been a mysterious presence throughout the season, often dodging questions about his origins and responding defensively when confronted about inconsistencies in his story. This episode brings clarity to the many questions surrounding Solo and unveils the deeply traumatic experiences that shaped him. From the beginning of the season, Solo's reluctance to share his past stood out. When Juliet Nichols, the central protagonist, probed into his history, Solo would evade her questions, occasionally contradicting his previous statements. One of the more glaring red flags came when Juliet asked about the dead bodies found outside his vault. Solo's refusal to address the matter hinted at dark secrets he was unwilling to face. These suspicions deepened when he lost his temper after Juliet accused him of lying about being Silo 17's IT Shadow. The mounting doubts about his backstory finally reached a crescendo in Episode 9. In the prior episode, Solo's fate was left uncertain after a group of teenagers took him hostage. They sought the access code to the vault, which contained Silo 17's remaining food supplies. One of the teenagers, Audrey, driven by a thirst for revenge, nearly killed Solo, blaming him for the deaths of her parents. In a desperate moment, Solo began to share his past, revealing the horrifying events that led to his current state. The episode rewinds to Solo's childhood in Silo 17, where his real name is revealed to be Jimmy Conroy. Juliet pieces this together after a series of observations and discoveries. Earlier in the season, during a visit to a classroom in Silo 17, Solo recalled sitting next to a girl in a Level B classroom. Based on this, Juliet deduced that Solo was around 11 or 12 years old during the rebellion that devastated Silo 17. In Episode 9, her suspicions are confirmed when she discovers a name tag bearing the name Jimmy Conroy. Jimmy was the son of Russell Conroy, the head of IT in Silo 17. During the rebellion, Russell foresaw the chaos and bloodshed that would follow. He instructed Jimmy to lock himself inside the vault, swearing him to an oath not to open the door for anyone. This oath was Russell's way of ensuring his son's safety, even as the world outside descended into violence. Tragically, Jimmy witnessed his father's death from inside the vault. Silo 17's sheriff, in a desperate bid to access the vault, killed Russell in front of Jimmy. The trauma of this event scarred the young boy deeply. Jimmy's inability to break his promise and open the vault weighed heavily on him, leaving him with a profound sense of guilt for not being able to save his father. To cope with his pain and fear, Jimmy assumed the identity of Solo, a persona he created based on Russell's real shadow. By presenting himself as the brave and resourceful Shadow, Jimmy constructed a protective facade that allowed him to survive the isolation and dangers of a desolate silo. However, this false identity came with its own challenges, as Solo often struggled to maintain the illusion, especially when confronted by Juliet and others. The revelation of Solo's true identity in Episode 9 is not just a personal turning point for him, but also a moment of redemption. When Juliet approaches him with compassion and understanding, Jimmy finally opens up about his past. He explains how his father's instructions were not just about protecting the vault, but also about safeguarding him from the horrors of the rebellion. This realization allows Jimmy to empathize with the teenagers from Silo 17, particularly those who have suffered immense losses like Audrey. In a poignant act of reconciliation, Jimmy decides to relinquish control of the vault. By doing so, he not only helps the teens access the vital food supplies, but also symbolically breaks free from the guilt and fear that have haunted him since childhood. The moment marks the beginning of Jimmy's journey toward healing and embracing his true self. Solo's backstory is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable trauma. His journey from a frightened child locked in a vault to a complex figure grappling with his past highlights the enduring themes of survival, identity, and redemption in Silo. Through this revelation, the series underscores the importance of understanding and empathy, reminding viewers that even the most enigmatic characters have stories worth telling. How Solo is connected to other survivors in Silo 17. As most of the people went outside because they believed it was safe, Solo remained inside the vault, along with Rick, Audrey, Eater, and Benny's relatives in another area of the silo. A conflict arose between Solo and the survivors when they began to run out of food years later, which Solo was hoarding in the vault. Rick's mother and Audrey's father figured out the right code for the vault and shot Solo in his sleep. It's worth noting that Solo never mentally matured beyond his 12-year-old self as a coping mechanism for his trauma, so he believed that it was still his job to protect the vault from outsiders. Naturally, his fight-or-flight instincts jumped out when he was attacked, and Solo broke off the handle of the food vault, locking the parents inside where they suffocated to death. Solo and the teenage survivors find common ground after the revelation on the basis that they have all been through life-altering experiences as children that have forced them to do unforgivable things. But this doesn't resolve every issue of Silo 17. Since it's now confirmed that Russell was the sheriff's victim from Season 2, Episode 1, it leaves the question of what the sheriff believes Russell was lying about. The most obvious answer is that Russell told everyone it was safe outside, as the sheriff mentioned that if he was lying about that, everyone would be dead anyway inside the silo. But clearly, it's not safe outside, so why did Russell say otherwise? And will Silo 18 follow Silo 17's same footsteps into doom? This lingering mystery raises critical questions about the motives behind Russell's actions. Was he trying to give people hope amidst despair? Or was he coerced into spreading misinformation? These unanswered questions add to the tension and uncertainty, especially as Silo 18 faces its own existential challenges. Understanding Russell's rationale and whether it was part of a larger plan could be key to determining whether Silo 18 can avoid repeating Silo 17's tragic fate.
Does that sound like the son of a hero to you? Russell would have been ashamed to have a son.
Why Solo was so desperate to protect the vault. Solo's father intentionally told him that he was Silo 17's new shadow to ensure he took his words seriously and did not open the vault's door. He knew that his son would only stay protected behind the vault's door if he believed he was a part of something bigger than himself. Russell's plan worked as Solo stuck to his role for decades. Even when other survivors tried to break into the vault to look for food, Solo's survival instincts kicked in, and he attempted to keep his promise to his father by killing them. Juliet helps him realize that the rebellion is long over, and his father only wanted him to live through the violence and death that entailed it. With this, Solo understands that he does not have to protect the vault anymore and allows the Silo 17 children to access it in Silo Season 2, Episode 9. This moment marks a significant turning point for Solo as he comes to terms with the fact that his father's instructions were not about maintaining control, but about ensuring his survival. By relinquishing the vault, Solo takes a step toward healing and rebuilding trust with the remaining survivors of Silo 17. It also symbolizes the end of a dark chapter in his life, allowing him to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and connection.
Responsible for all of this. You were 12.
Jimmy was a coward.
Our nerdy thoughts. Solo's story in Silo Season 2 is a masterclass in how trauma shapes identity and choices. From a scared 12-year-old boy to a man burdened by his past, Solo's journey is both heartbreaking and profound. His unwavering commitment to protecting the vault, born out of love and fear, is a testament to the lengths we go to uphold promises, even when the world around us crumbles. This revelation not only deepens our understanding of Solo, but also raises thought-provoking questions about survival, guilt, and the sacrifices made during desperate times. What would you have done in Solo's place? Could you carry the weight of such a promise? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into Silo and your other favorite shows. Until next time, keep exploring the mysteries and the humanity hidden beneath the surface.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.